Hi, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. My name is Seth. In our last episode, we were able to get our Mun communication satellites around the Mun successfully in an equal orbit. We did use HyperEdit to just adjust the orbits to make them just perfect. Now that we've done that, I think it's time that we built a rocket to launch a Scansat probe into a polar orbit around the Mun. So to do that, I think we'll start out with probe. So just have to adjust the volume. So we're going to start out with a probe core. Probe core is probably going to need some fuel. Some engines, the little engine that could, maybe an ant or a spider. It's the delta V thrust on that. That's a fairly high amount of thrust. 2000 delta V, we might use that actually. Then to the actual probe core itself. And some solar panels. Might end up with more. And so that's pretty much our road basically. As in delta V, that's enough to probably get us into polar orbit. So I'm just thinking 800 to transfer to the Mun. 200, yeah, that should be enough. So if we can basically get this into orbit, orbit around Kerbin, then everything else should be fairly okay. And we'll stick, because that'll give us 5 million meters. So yeah, that should be fine because we will be able to communicate with our other satellites around the Mun. And I need a decoupler, and we'll make this one a decoupler that will give us a bit of a boom. Probably not. Nope. Do I have any 0.625 meter engines? I don't think I do. Yeah, sure, but I don't think we want to use. It's actually quite interesting. Why wouldn't we use that? The ton. It's pretty heavy. Sure, why not? Why not indeed? This is going to be the Hercules 6 craft. This is going to be polar Mun orbit. So we're going to try and get this into an orbit around the Mun. To a polar orbit. That is, I don't think I want that though, because I'm pretty sure I need to have bearing in here somewhere. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to put the bearing in. Actually, what do I need to do that? I don't even need that. I can just do this, can't I? There we go. Perfect. So, and now that we've got that there, we'll probably end up using a couple of fuel tanks. Because, I mean, this is all fairly... only 2 tons. I think that'll do it, to be honest. Honestly think that's all we need to do to get this to work. Staging's correct. I am gonna... yeah, I will lose access to the craft midway to the Mun, but only for a short period of time. There is a problem with that. I don't have enough thrust weight to get off the ground. So what if, now I'm curious, now we're kind of just mucking around a bit, what if I do that? Do I have radial decouplers? Because I can put them on decouplers, but I thought they, I honestly thought they decoupled by themselves. Then I can put my fins on here. That's just stupid. Okay. Enough mucking around with that. What if I was to stick a few of these on? They would give us a huge amount of thrust at takeoff. They are fairly powerful, aren't they? Probably 2 should be enough, I think, at this stage. So they can't take off on their own. Okay, perfect. It's not exactly rocket science. I think that will do what we want. It'll be close enough. I'm gonna pop that in there. That will go there. Okay, so swivel will ignite once that's at full throttle. SRBs. Yep. Okay. Cool. So let's yeah, let's just go for it. Okay, so where is the Mun? right above us, so it's the worst possible location to launch. And good enough. SAS, I'm still time warping, aren't I? SAS. Why don't I have control? Why do I not have control? Why don't I have control? What's happened to you? I am the Hercules 6. I don't have an antenna. I do have an antenna. It's under the fairing. Yep. This was... I wonder if that works from under. It does. 3, 2, 1. So yeah, okay. So I'm launching with my fairing, with my antenna poking out of my fairing. Yeah, this won't end well. It just won't. I also don't have decouplers for the solid rocket boosters. So I'm dragging dead weight to space with me as well. Yep. This is what happens when you design a rocket in a hurry. It just doesn't end well. But it is what it is. So we're already past max Q when the SRBs burn out, basically. I think that was when that happened. So we can start our turn because of that. And you can see there that our time to apoapsis is going down because our thrust to weight ratio is high, but we've also just turned fairly steeply, so it'll take a moment. What I want to do is get out of the atmosphere as much as possible before I damage that antenna, because I don't know what the effect of having it in the fairing is. I don't know if it's going to be protected from atmospheric or whether it's still possibly going to be damaged by it. And of course there's a rotation creeping in because I'm dragging these stupid SRBs with me. So it's a very poorly designed rocket. I'm thinking due to a bug that the antenna is actually going to be protected while it's inside the fairing, even though it's out of the fairing. because that, I would have expected that to have burnt off by now. But it is actually getting, yeah, okay, it is getting affected by heat, so we're high enough now so that it's not too much of a concern. Well, now we're pulling 5G, so that's fairly significant. Okay, so now this is going to be telling when I separate bearings. My antenna, no, my antenna stayed attached, which is good. So let's get rid of those. So that's not too bad. I mean, I'm not very pleased with my design of rocket, but it got there. So I suspect we're going to have to do some mid-course corrections. Probably sooner rather than later, because I don't want to get too far out. Otherwise I will lose comms. I know I'm going to lose comms at some stage, just because of the antenna that I've got on here. It's not, it won't reach. It won't reach Kerbin and Mun halfway. But it's interesting actually, it might, because we are broadcasting. We are broadcasting 2,000 out, so 2,000 from 5,000 from the Mun. Yeah, we might, because the Mun satellites are far enough out. So we've got this small burn here to move us into a polar orbit. I'm just going to burn early. It shouldn't really matter too much when I do that. Or it might. I probably should have waited. How do I fix that up now? So we're just burning to put us into a Mun polar orbit. Okay, so now that we're there, we'll plot our circularization burn. And yeah, look, we got plenty of fuel at this point in time. Easy. So let's time warp a little bit. Okay, so I did lose signal. That's fine. Should pick it back up shortly. There we go. So now I am lost again. Interesting. And we've picked it back up. Where am I picking? That's interesting. I'm not sure where I'm picking that up from, to be honest. I think I'm picking that up from... Actually, Let me go and have a look at the Mun satellites. I wonder if there's an option there for relay, and I'm wondering if that needs to be enabled for it to actually relay. As in, I would have expected it to have bounced the signal off those satellites, but it's not. So let me have a look. It's a high gain antenna again. Doesn't relay. That do? That's what I want. Okay, here we go. So I need to manually set those to relay. So really need to make sure that all craft have a couple of antenna on them. That interesting. Switch to. Yeah, it's not an actual option on them. So this is good. This should then allow. Okay, so this will do what I want. I would expect those satellites to have picked up the Hercules 6 as it went between Kerbin and the Mun. There we go. Now that's that one. So now if I go back here, switch to, we should have communications. Hercules 6 signal is back relayed through M3. Okay, yes. Wonderful. That is great news. Need to remember to make sure I need to go back and do the Callisto K1234 around Kerbin. I need to set them to relay as well. So probably switch relay. Yeah, okay. So let's point towards the maneuver. Let's enable radar scan. So let's throttle up. Burn to put us into orbit. Meanwhile, let's have a look at the Scansat map that is being created as we fly over Mun. That is Kerbin. It's interesting because I'm burning as I'm drawing the map. You can see it moving. Okay, so now we're in a 200 by 230 orbit. Radar altitude is ideal, and that's fine. So essentially we're probably going to need to wait. It's my inclination, 98. So I mean, we're not perfectly up down, so we should get a reasonable amount of coverage of the moon. We just basically have to write this out, and this may take a few days in game to cover the entire surface because the moon doesn't rotate. We have to wait for it to precess along its orbit so that we can capture all of it. But that is good enough for now. We will leave this here. I don't know what our next mission will be. I will have a think about what we want to do next, and I will see you again next time. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.